Hey everybody, hope y'all doing well. Excuse my voice, I'm sick again, but we back with another episode of Only You. It's episode 6. Let's get straight into the video. We hop into this episode with Tawan and Isla, giddy walking into the studio. Nana and Ya even notice at the dance studio, Tawan spots Pete, who will be rehearsing with Isla. And I'm like, if Tawan had powers to shoot laser from her eyes, Pete would be deceased and dead, cause she ain't playing with him. Typhoon ain't playing with him either, and says he don't really like the look of this Pete character and wants to ambush him. Ya tells Typhoon that there's CCTV everywhere and we have to ambush him somewhere else. Tawan asks the team if they had anything to do and quit gossiping. They like, nah, we don't got anything to do. Tawan continues to watch the rehearsal and is on board with the team, saying if we do ambush him, we must leave no evidence. Like, yep, take him out. I'm playing, don't do that. Isla and Pete are friends and she'll never forgive y'all for doing that. Isla is done rehearsing and asks Tawan if she's hungry. Tawan ain't answer cause she's too busy plotting on Pete's downfall. Isla explains to Tawan Pete is gay, so you can stop being jealous. Tawan's baffled. Isla says Pete loves me like a sister. That's why he helped me out yesterday. In a flashback, we see Isla ask Pete to pretend to kiss her to get underneath Tawan's skin. Pete reluctantly says fine. They go to rehearse the kiss, but they both weirded out by the concept. But Tawan comes barging in and sees them pretending. Out of the flashback, Tawan says pulling a prank on me like that will result in a punishment. Isla's like, oh no, what's the punishment? Please don't hurt me. I'm like, they're a mess and I enjoy it. For me, it's the way people are in the room and they are saying whatever they want to say. Like, no care in the world. Pete apologizes to Tawan for being handsy with Isla and assures her there's nothing to worry about. Tawan also apologizes for being a bit jealous. Pete leaves, but on his way out, him and Typhoon have a stare-off. Typhoon like, what was that? Nana tells Typhoon not to worry about Pete being Tawan's rival. They like how, explain Nana. Then Ya brings in a package to Tawan, and Isla is happy. It finally arrived. It's the rain chaser that Tawan made. Isla wants Tawan to show her where the email is. Tawan does, and Isla says, how could I be so blind? Tawan goes to tell Ya she made her choice. Y'all like cool, so we can call her sister-in-law now. Tawan nods, and the team is over the moon. They got a sister-in-law. Tawan tells them to leave. They like, we didn't even say goodbye to our sister-in-law yet. Tawan gets a notification that she got an email, and it's from Isla saying sorry for the late message, but I missed you so much. We cut to them sitting on the steps, conversating. Tawan asks if there's anything else Isla likes or dislikes. Isla starts rapidly listing all her likes and again tells Tawan she wants to go to an amusement park. As for her dislikes, it's the dark. She don't like it. Tawan says, well, what do you do when you have a concert? Because the backstage is dark. Isla says when she's scared, she'll focus on the lights in the hall and the fans, because just seeing her fans helps her a lot with the fear. We at the gas station now because they going camping and need to get some food. Tawan asks Jam the driver to please give her the van keys. He does, and she tells him to leave for the rest of the day. It gives him a couple of dollars for the ride home. Tawan and Isla are at the campsite now, and Isla is saying it's been so long since she's been here. Last time she was here, it was in the 9th grade. Tawan's like, oh, so you like camping? Isla says she loves it, then asks whose place it is. Tawan says, girl, it's mine. I bought it to be my safety area. Isla's like, it's so nice. I can actually live here. Then the lights go out, and Isla tries to get Tawan to see the shooting star that was in the sky. Tawan talk about she only sees the moon. Isla searching, wondering if the moon is even visible tonight. Tawan says the moon is right here beside me. Isla tells Tawan that if we see a shooting star and make a wish, our wish will come true. Isla sees another shooting star and starts wishing. Then notice Tawan wasn't making a wish and questions her. Tawan says she just did make a wish with the moon. So why would she look at a shooting star? Isla's all bashful now, shy and stuff. And Tawan gives Isla a gift. It's a bracelet and asks her if they can be together. Isla is taking a while to respond. Tawan's like, you don't want to date me? Isla's like, nah, of course I do. There's nothing more I want. They hug and Isla realizes that her bracelet glows. Tawan's like, yeah, it glows in the dark. Dark can't hurt you anymore. Isla says, yeah, cause the light from the sun will always be with me. They kiss and the lights come back on. I'm loving the moon and sun references. It's very them, and they never stop using them even after the 8 years that has passed. Good for them. It's the following morning, and Isla has a question. Tawan says, ask away. I have nothing to hide from my girlfriend. Isla wants to know the reason behind the sudden move to Hong Kong. This is okay if Tawan couldn't answer that question. Tawan reveals she got into a fight with her older brother, and it got physical. So after that, Tawan decided to go live with her aunt in Hong Kong. We're dropped into a flashback of that day. Tawan comes home to find a trashed house. Everything was rifled through. She goes to confront her brother who's lounging and eating her candy she got from Isla. Tawan said, what right do you have to rummage through my room? Beck, the brother, says, did you forget? This is my house. And your stuff is in my house, so it's mine. And I'm like, bruh, I'm going through the same shit with my siblings. They eat my food, that's mine, and then act as if I never put food up for me. The shit is annoying. Tawan is fed up and calls him an asshole. Mac like, you dare to call me names, mistress daughter? And I'm like, that was a lame comeback. You should be gathering your dad, cause it seems like he was outside, not giving a damn about you or your mama. Mac goes to hit Tawan. She blocks him. They start scrapping, and she winning a little bit till he slaps the shit out of her. Then she finish him off. That was her last straw, and that night she began to pack her things and leave to Hong Kong. Out of the flashback, and Isla asks how her rain chaser was doing. Tawan pulls it out, and Isla immediately starts talking to it and want to know if it missed her. Tawan joins in saying, I did miss you. I missed you so much. They start going back down memory lane with all the stuff Tawan has kept over the years. Isla opens one thing, and she like, this was from my first single. So you've been following my career, Tawan? Tawan says, yep, I've been following you all along. Isla wants to know if Tawan has been to her concerts. Tawan's like, yeah, every one of them. Isla says, alright, why didn't you ask to come and see me then? Tawan talk about she was worried Isla wouldn't remember her. Isla like, why wouldn't I remember you? Tawan talk about you more than remember me, and that's good. Isla now wants to know why Tawan opened a security company. Tawan tells her, remember you once said I was like your bodyguard. Isla says, of course I do. Tawan's like, that's it. That was my main inspiration. She continues saying, saving you when we were kids made me realize that protecting people was a good thing. And from then on, I trained and learned. Now I have my own security company. Isla's like, so that means we've been each other's inspiration. Tawan says, thank you to Isla for not giving up on loving her. Isla says thanks as well for accepting her love. They kiss and whatnot, and I know they can smell and taste whatever noodle flavor that they just ate, but whatever. They arrive at the house, and Isla goes to greet her dad. Her dad sees Tawan and thanks her for taking good care of Isla, then informs Tawan that he talked to Isla's boss, and that's how he got wind of the plan to catch the culprits. Tawan is sorry for not notifying him, but he's like, it's cool because it was a success. As long as Isla's safe, I'm relieved. Isla and her dad have a moment and hug, and Tawan looks sad, maybe a little lost, probably because she didn't have that growing up, but I don't know. They in the bed now, and Tawan wants to know if Isla is tired yet. Isla's like, nah, I ain't tired yet, cause I'd rather be flirting with you. Tawan invites her to do so cause she ready. And I'm like, I'm trying to be spicy. Is her dad still here? I'll be so cautious. My parents don't need to hear what I'm doing. They don't need to hear all that. They start kissing or whatever, and then Tawan stops and says to Isla she wants to do this right. I'm over here stunned. What do you mean, Tawan? I thought you were in the midst of doing the thing. What do you mean? Tawan says she wants to tell Tana that they are dating. Isla's like, I don't mind, cause whenever someone courts me, I always tell my dad. Tawan says, cool, so when you get off of work tomorrow, we'll go see him. Isla is down and we'll set up the meeting. It's the next day. They're in the meeting with Tana. Isla is nervous and stuttering. Tawan takes the reins and just asks for permission to date Isla. Tana tells Isla to give them the room. She does, and Tana says, I asked you to take care of my daughter as her bodyguard, not to do it intimately. He wants to know how this happened. Tawan tells him that she and Isla known each other since high school. He says, so you took the job because you liked Isla. Tawan's like, nah, I took this job because you told me that you and Isla had received death threats from enemies in your business. We get another flashback of them talking. He hired Tawan because he's been facing problems in his own business and isn't sure if what is happening to Isla is the actions of the haters or his business enemies. Out of the flashback, Tawan says, your desire to protect Isla is no different from mine. Isla is a very important person to me. Tawan continues, if I didn't take this job that day and something happened to her, I would be miserable and wouldn't forgive myself for the rest of my life. Tana says, so you're ready to protect Isla with your life? Tawan's like, yeah. Tana says, alright, since we on the same page, I ain't got no problem with you dating Isla. Tawan is pleased, but Tana has one request, and that is don't break Isla's heart. Tawan says that day will never come. Isla gets called back into the room, and Tana tells her, if you two want to date, to take good care of each other. And Tana calls Tawan too much trouble. I'm over here applauding like, yeah, a stable parent, just like Lada's dad, and only you. Tana tells Tawan to please take care of Isla. Tawan says thank you and promises to take care of Isla and make her as happy as she can be. Tana asks how far ahead them two have planned, and are you serious enough to get married? Isla's like, Dad, are you seriously asking this type of question? Tana says, I'm curious, and then tells them you can live together before marriage. Tana says they can get married and move in together. Isla says, if you're serious, why don't we get married tomorrow? Tana's like, wow. Alright, since we'll be in-laws, why don't you tell me about your family, Tawan? Tawan says her last name, Wang, comes from when she lived in Hong Kong with her aunt, who adopted her as her daughter. She continues saying, as for my OG last name, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna just put it up here. Tana looks pissed in this moment, then asks what her dad's name is. She says Son Clark. He owns TS Constructions. Tana says to Tawan she's not allowed to date Isla anymore. Both Tawan and Isla are in a state of confusion. Tana's like, I can't let you date a child of that trader. Then says, as of now, my contract with Tawan's security company is terminated. Tawan and Isla are gutted. Damn, them dating didn't even last for 5 minutes. Tana will pay for all damages and wants Tawan to leave his daughter alone. He grabs Isla to take her home, and that's where it ends. This was the episode where I thought they were gonna be all happily and dating, but that's my fault for thinking. I'm eyeing Tana cause what does Tawan have to do with the feelings you got towards her dad? I don't know, but damn, that was the quickest relationship in history. That's a shame. I need to know how the team is gonna react cause they was on board with having a sister-in-law. But that's it, y'all. Sorry for my voice. This cold got me in a chokehold, but I still wanted to do this. That's it. Make sure you like and share for more videos from me. Be safe, y'all. Later, y'all.